When we purchased our house, it was in very poor shape. A very, very, very poor shape. As in, there is nothing at this point at all that is livable. Not a single thing. And we only had about 2 months, and we had to move in. When you're doing something like that, where you have a house and you're like, I have a very short period of time and it needs to be in livable shape. I don't know about you, but for myself personally, we have to decide what is important and what isn't important because, well, there is such a thing as a budget and people need to stick to it. One of the ways that I found to cut down on cost was to reuse some of the old hardware that was already in the house and spray paint it. Some of those things I would do again, and some of them I would not. Hey friend, you are looking capable and happy. Amy here on A Lolly Life, and we're having another What to Spray Paint and What Not to Spray Paint episode, where I talk about one of my biggest spray painting mistakes ever. I mean, seriously, why didn't somebody tell me not to do it? Probably because there wasn't this YouTube video out there to warn me. But now, you have been warned. Curtain rods! I spray painted our white shower curtain rod and the white hooks that went with it so that they would match because I like matchy-matchy kind of things. I was concerned because I thought that the hooks rubbing over the bar might cause a problem, but it did not. Now you can see where they've rubbed off some of the paint on the inside, but you can't see that, so it doesn't really matter. I've painted other curtain rods over the years as well, and I found that they've all held up very nicely. And so I would definitely paint a curtain rod again, even a shower curtain bar, and I would probably paint hooks, books, yeah, that thing. I would probably paint the hooks again too, if I couldn't find some in the right colors. I don't know if I would paint books or cooks or nooks, but I would paint hooks again. Spray painting the toilet brush handle. Who paints the toilet brush handle? No, the toilet flush handle, like the flush handle, not the brush handle. I painted the toilet brush flush handle. Okay, I can't say this right. I have never spray painted the toilet brush handle. I promise, I've never done that. That's pretty bad. But I spray painted the toilet flush handle, and it is by far the biggest spray painting mistake I have ever made. Can I stretch my hands back all the way? I don't even know. Okay, I can. So, there we go. Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, so it's my biggest spray painting mistake. And now I have to look at that mistake multiple times a day, every time I go to use the washroom. I didn't like it. And this would be a big fat no way, do not do it. Sorry, it is not a good idea. Everyone, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I will never, ever spray paint the toilet handle. This didn't even last a week. I have touched up the paint on it recently, and that has lasted more than a week. But I know full well that if I want it to stay black, I have to replace it. I personally think that it gives off the impression that the toilet and the bathroom are dirty, even right after I've top to bottom scrubbed the bathroom, every surface, and I stand back to admire my all of my hard work, the way that you always should stand back and admire all your hard work when you've done something that's the equivalent of dropping a ring into the fires of Modor. After all, I had just scrubbed the bathroom. And so I stand back and I look at all of my work and I'm just so proud. And then the toilet flusher handle is over there and it's screaming, ha ha, I'm still a mess so the bathroom doesn't look clean. That's what you get for trying to paint me. Better luck next time, sucker. Needless to say, I will never paint the flush handle on the toilet again. Or the brush handle for the toilet cleaner thing. Yeah, I won't paint either of those. No, I won't paint either of those again. Bad idea. How about door handles? I painted several of those. Sadly, the ones that are touched frequently with wet or damp hands don't hold up. This one, you can see, looks like it's in pretty good shape. Not too bad. The one on the other side, look at that one. It's not in such great shape. Partly because a lot of times our hands are slightly wet or slightly damp when we go to open the door, and so it has worn it off. However, if you sand them really well and you make sure that they're completely dry before you do anything more than casually use them, and they're not touched frequently by wet or damp hands, door handles probably will hold up for about a year or two. Would I spray paint a door handle again? No, and especially not the bathroom door handle. Now that was a mistake. I painted the handles on our entertainment center, and they've held up really well. But then again, I'm not opening and closing those doors multiple times a day with wet hands. I would paint entertainment center handles again. That was a win. I spray painted the kitchen cabinet handles, and it's pretty obvious which one of those doors and drawers we open and close most often, because the paint on them looks most worn. I sanded these handles really, really well before I painted them, and we were extra careful when we opened the cupboard doors for the first couple of weeks so that the spray paint had a chance to really dry before we used them very much. And after 2 years, the handles looked pretty good, but after 4 years, they were definitely due for a touch-up. Would I spray paint my kitchen handles again? Yes, but not if I had another option. If I had had the money to buy something else, I absolutely would have bought something else. I would have bought hardware that was already the right color, and then it would have held up a lot better. But I didn't have hardware that was the right color, and I didn't have the budget to buy hardware that's the right color. So guess what? Spray paint. And I would do it again. Not if I didn't have to, but I would do it again. Unless, of course, this video goes viral, and every single one of you add your little thumbs up to the video, and I earn $1 million bazillion, and then I would be happy to purchase new hardware that matches instead of spray painting it. That would be my favorite option. Something that I would never spray paint, I'm telling you, never, it's never worth it, never, ever, 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 ever worth it. I'm telling you this, it's never worth it, is something that is plumbing-wise. Like a faucet, never worth it, never. Just will not last. Any kind of drain things, never worth it. Do not do it. You will be sorry. This sink drain was purchased. That's right. I didn't paint it, and it still didn't hold up. And it was not a cheap set, although it looks cheap. I did paint the silver ring just before the disposal flaps. It used to be black at one point. It was stupidity on my part that I thought that I could paint that and it would actually hold up. But at least it came off entirely within a couple of weeks. So there's that. I still think that the toilet flusher was worse, because that one, the fault lies entirely with moi. This one was mostly a manufacturing issue, with only a teeny tiny bit of dumbness from me thrown in. Another note on the topic of damp and spray paint, besides plumbing fixtures, this includes things like towel bars. I thought it might be a good idea to purchase cheaper towel bars and spray paint them, and then it would be all great. My husband was wise enough to talk me out of that. He's like, please, just spend the money. And I'm really glad that he did, because, well, they wouldn't have held up. Seriously, don't paint the towel bars. It's a bad idea. The shower enclosure hardware, that would be a no. But it makes me want to cry to say it. Because I seriously could not find one with dark accents. Well, that's sort of not true. I did find a couple, but they were thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more than what the other ones were. So they're out there, but the budget is so high that they're not available for normal people like me. I'm guessing that from time to time when I'm not actually looking for one, they probably sell them. But I wanted it to match. You think the universe could give me this one tiny little thing? I mean, I did say it was a tiny shower, so it really would have been a tiny little thing. But I didn't get that. And I would not recommend painting the hardware of your shower enclosure. It did not work. I have another spray painting video coming out soon that has a tip for touching up spray paint so that you don't have to take it all apart and re-spray paint it. I mean, seriously, how annoying would that be? Thanks for joining me here on A Lolly Life, where we learn about life skills so that you can be your most happy self, because you are your most capable self. You know you want to click on the video down there in the corner. It's another one about spray painting mistakes. Later, beautiful!